this is Freebie Friday, and this is the card that we have designed, and I'm going to show you how to lay it out, because when you open up the file, it's not going to look like this, because if you're mobile, you can't open a file that has foiling set in it, and if you are on an Android, you can't do print and cut, and this one has a pattern fill, and that one's not available on mobile devices either. So I wanted to go in and show you how to set up this file to create a beautiful card like this. So let's pop over to DesignSpace. Okay, so when you open up your file, it's going to look just like this. It is the same card. Here's the photo. And I'm just going to close that. So let's start with the base. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can do this if you don't have colored cardstocks and things like that. These two panels, you can set to the colors that you want, and you can use a lot of images. It doesn't have to be the images I used here. We're just going to align center, and you can select that background color that you want and just flatten it to cut one panel, but I have it cut as two panels on the card just to give it a little bit of depth. Okay, and your base is just like it is. All you need to do is select either your pen color. I use the cyan color on this one. I will go in there. I'm not going to change it. I'm going to leave it on black, but I'm just going to show you guys where you can change it here. Select which pen that you want. I used extra fine, and hopefully, I think it's going to be listed as bright blue in here. So that is the one that I used on the inside of my card because it matched the paper that I selected, the digital paper that I used. So that's what I did. And that's why I'm not changing this one, because that may not match the paper that you plan to use. So these two panels are pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to glue the blue one to the top of your card and the white one to the blue. Okay, and I'm going to take it a little step further because I had a little bit of trouble lining this up. So I'm going to take this section right here. I'm going to duplicate it. And I am going to come in and I am going to change this to a score. Now I am going to save this for you guys. Just so I don't think I need to do the center one. I feel like you guys can line up that center one on your own, but giving you the space of these two will definitely help. So I'm going to attach those, and then we're just going to align, and you can remove this if you think it's going to bother you. It's not going to show when you put your panels on. And let's center that and attach. So now it's going to score that panel so that when you take and put your printed panels on, I don't know why that keeps moving weird. Bring that to the front. When you bring this panel on, you'll know where to line that first panel up. You'll line that one up on those score lines and glue it down, and then do the same for this one on the right, and then glue your center panel down. Will make it so much easier, because mine in the photo, you may be able to tell, you may not be. It is slightly off. I think right here you can see that it was just slightly off, and that's because I did not get the same width over here as I got over here. So I just made it work, but we're solving that solution for you by doing that. And I'm just going to give this a quick save so that that's there when you open up the project. I am filming a day in advance, so that's why I want to make sure that you have it. Now the fish, you can see here that there are a couple of layers, and I am going to detach the pen. This is the pen writing, and these are the two layers. I'm going to unflatten them. I flatten them just because they're going to be print and cut. Now, it depends on the background you choose and the colors that you choose for your fish. You may not need this piece at all, okay, because it is an exact size of your writing. You mainly want to focus on this one here, which is what I did. It's going to depend on the background you choose. If you feel like your pattern that you selected is not going to pop up and be enough difference for it to pop out on that background, let me show you again. See how much darker he is? He's the same tones, but he's very dark. If yours is blending too much, you can correct it by making this piece a lighter color, making this a dark color or a lighter color. You can reverse them and then flatten it down so that they're along the same tones, but it gives you a border around it to make it pop up. But again, if you get enough difference between the two colors, then you won't need this piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this a cut image. You can change it back at any time. So we'll make that basic cut, and I will make it the same color there. And I'm just going to hide that because you really don't need it unless you're having an issue with your colors. You will need to change this pen operation to foil right here and choose if you want medium or bold. Fine. I wouldn't go fine. It won't pop as much, but medium or bold. I did medium on mine. So make your choice on that. Once you have that, just simply align it and attach it to that background. I'm not going to do it yet because we're going to play with that for just a minute. And then here on this one, I'm going to detach the seaweed. Okay, I left these 3 panels attached because when you're selecting your digital paper or your pattern fill, you want those to stay in line, especially so if they make type a scene type, you want those to stay in alignment. And it's just easier when you're setting it up. This also will need to be changed to foil. I use the rose gold foil on this and the hello sentiment, and I use silver on the fish. So let's talk about pattern fill. Now, there are several in there in DesignSpace, and of course you can upload your own. If you're uploading your own, you're going to click on upload, and then you're going to come right here to the left. Instead of selecting image, you're going to select pattern fill, and then you're going to click on upload pattern and drag that pattern in here. It could be something that you found on Google. It could be something that you designed yourself. Any of those things, you want to bring that in, okay? And it's not going to show, it's not going to show on the upload page. It's not going to show in here simply because it's in a different area. These are images and this is a pattern fill. So let's go back to the canvas and let's go in and play. So right here you can come in and you're going to change the basic cut to print and cut. Now I'm not going to save this file after this point because I don't want to save any of these changes. So once you have it on print and cut, you can do it as a color if you want, select a color if you know what you want, or you can come in here and change it to pattern. And once you select pattern, you can go into your filters and then you can filter and use blues or greens. I'm just going to go ahead and use this ocean picture here. I didn't use it for mine, but you may have a photo that you want to use. So I'm going to select that one and let it load up on that background. And you can see that it's all tiled. So I'm going to edit the pattern and I'm going to bring this in. And then we'll play with it vertically. Let's go the other way. Move it down. We'll get rid of that tiling and see where we're at. So that looks pretty good to me. And once I'm happy with it, I'm just going to click off of it. And now you can see that it brought those in. Now those 3 are identical. If you want them tiled and you want them to come in a little bit different, then you will have to do them individually. You can detach it and then maybe flip one if you want. If you want to break it up and make it look a little bit different, and then maybe flip this one without moving anything. And then that kind of creates a different little look on that little shoreline. I'm not too worried about this down here because our hello sentiment's going to go. And then you can just attach them back. That way they will cut and they will stay in order for you. And then you're just going to place them onto the front of your card. Now I did use a digital paper on mine, so I'm just going to go back to the print and cut. I'm going to change that. I'm going to use my filter, and I'm going to go with some blues, maybe some greens and some grays, and a multicolor. And let's see what pulls up. Now I have done a lot of uploading in mine, so that's where my upload came from. I think I used this on my fish and my background, or my blue panel. I'm sorry, this blue panel over here. I did mine as a print and cut too. And you can see that it tiled up, and we're just going to take that filter and pattern, and we're just going to enlarge it. So you can see that I've got a line across there. If you have that line, you know it's still tiled, and you need to come in and adjust it some more. So edit that pattern. We're going to get rid of that line. Let's force it up. There we go. And now that looks pretty good. So that is what I used on this panel back here. I used that same pattern as I did for my fish. That is actually the fish pattern that I put here, but that's okay. Let's go in and maybe say I want to leave that and maybe go with a gray on this. So I'm going to do print and cut. I'm going to do a pattern, and let's go into the filter and select some grays or black and whites, maybe a black. Let's see what pulls up in there. That looks pretty good. You may want to do that with a silver, or you may want to change the color. You may want to stay with your blue tones. Totally up to you. So that's what that looks like. Looks pretty good to me. And maybe I want to use a pen and not use foil. So I could do that. I could come in here and select maybe an extra fine and do that blue. And then that would make a pretty one as well. So lots of things you could do, foil, pens, all of that. But that is how you work with your pattern uploads. This one I didn't do, I just cut out of a piece of scrap cardstock. I use like an ivory color. You can use white, whatever matches your card. And I did size that down, so let me do that for you guys now. I changed the size of it. So I'm going to undo everything. You understand what we've done. You're going to then arrange this, select it as a foil or a pen. Align. Let me bring that to the front. Once you have this done, you're going to pick foil or whatever, you're going to align center. Okay, if you're using this image. Now it hangs off a little bit on the edge, and that's fine. It's still going to cut that off, and it's going to look great on the card. As you can see here, it still looks great. It looks more natural. I like it that way. But you can size it down if you don't want yours that large or don't want it to hang over and be cut off. It's not cutting off that much. And then just attach it, okay, once you have that done. So let me undo all of this, and then I'll fix the hello. I was still working in this file when I started. I'm going to undo everything, get it back to its natural or its original state. Okay, right there. That's where I can, oops, I didn't want to go back that far, but that's okay. There we go. Oh, we have it. All right. So I'm just going to hide that in case you guys need it. That way it'll be there. This I'm going to attach back. Let's attach. And you'll want to make sure that that's aligned center. There And I don't really like it there, so I'm gonna bump it down just a tiny bit. That looks better. So there we go, and then I'm going to attach it. That is ready to go. This is attached. It is ready, so I'm going to place that right there on the card. I'm going to bring this in. And now let's adjust this. Let me detach that. And align, center. I'm just going to group it until I check that size. It's still a little large. Ungroup. And align, center, attach. And you can change the shape if you want to. Change it to something that you like better. Perfect. So I'm going to save that, and this is the way the file is going to look when you open it, and then you can spread everything out and go in and set everything up. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to do that, and if you want to change your sentiment, of course, you're going to detach, find a sentiment, or type out a sentiment that you want, add it in, and then align it horizontally and attach. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below, like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to join and follow me on the Designspace profile. You can come in here to the top menu, go and view your profile, and set up your profile, get everything set up, and this is where you can follow people as well. Let me show you how to do that. If you don't know how to follow somebody, let's go to the home screen, and you can type in Crafting with April and search, and then you will see projects. Some of these projects are mine, some are not, because my name is April. Lots of stuff will pop up sometimes that doesn't really belong to me. But if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a button. You can click on that, and then you can come in, and that's where you can follow. All right, and I hope that you guys have a great crafting weekend. I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.